It's time to be inspired and empowered as you listen to this life-transforming teaching by Pastor Mike Ayeni.
Welcome to another edition of Daily Inspiration with Pastor Mike Ayeni. How to receive by faith. Yesterday we learned that it requires patience to receive by faith. Point number 2, process. It requires process to receive by faith. My dear friend, the first thing I want you to understand is God is a God of process. Whatever God has promised to give you, He has a process in place to give you what He has promised to give you. God promised the children of Israel the land flowing with milk and honey, but there was a process in place to give them the land. God said in Exodus chapter 23 and verse 30, little by little, I will drive them out from before you until you have increased and you inherit the land. Please note the word little by little. Whatever God promised to give you, He doesn't give you all at once. He gives you little by little. Hebrews chapter 6 verse 12 says, imitate those who through faith and patience inherit the promise. So how did they inherit the promise? Little by little. Little by little means God took them through a process. But our greatest challenge as Christians is going through God's process. We want His promise, not His process. But God is saying you can't have one and not have the other. If you want my promise, then be ready to go through my process. God anointed David to be king at 15, but made him king at 30. What was God doing with David for 15 years? God was taking him through a process of becoming a king. God gave Joseph a dream of becoming a prime minister at 13, but made him a prime minister at 30. What was God doing with Joseph for 13 years? God was taking him through a process of becoming a prime minister. David and Joseph did not become leaders overnight. They became leaders over time. David and Joseph were not leaders made out of promise. They were leaders made out of process. My dear friend, if you want to receive your promise from God, then be ready to go through His process. It requires process to receive by faith. I'll give you another point on how to receive by faith tomorrow. Until then, stay inspired and connected to God's Word. God bless you.
Have you been blessed by this teaching? Let us hear from you. WhatsApp 063-741-3465 or email transforminglivescenter@gmail.com. Stay inspired.